The Royal Shakespeare Theatre stands on the waterside in Stratford-Upon-Avon, on the same piece of land formerly occupied by Shakespeare's garden when he lived at New Place from 1597 to 1616. In 1875, the then owner, Charles Flowers, donated the site to the newly created Shakespeare Memorial Theatre Limited Incorporated. The theatre itself opened 4 years later. Following its destruction by fire in 1926, its fortunes soon rose again with the appointment of a young architect, Elizabeth Scott, who was commissioned to design a new theatre on the site, adjacent to the burnt-out building. Some of the theatre fraternity think Elizabeth still makes her presence known here today. Her new theatre opened in 1932. 28 years later, the Royal Shakespeare Company was established and the building renamed the Royal Shakespeare Theatre. In the early 1980s, the original burnt-out shell of the Victorian building was converted to the Swan Theatre. But no matter the changes to the building, the ghostly apparitions persist. In 1995, the transformation project was first proposed. The plans were met with strong resistance from devoted theatre-goers and actors alike, for whom the theatre was a spiritual home. To pull down the original fabric of the building that had resonated to the voices of so many renowned actors seemed like sacrilege. Many of the present-day actors insisted that part of the original fabric of the old theatre should remain, not only as an act of homage to the history of the Elizabeth Scott Theatre, but also in response to their feeling that somehow the spirits of their great predecessors were absorbed into the fabric of the building. So when work began in late 2007, the relic wall was preserved and remains there today adjacent to the Riverside Cafe on the ground floor, and a predominant feature of the rooftop restaurant, covered with posters of productions from the time of the Elizabeth Scott Theatre. Also, an urn containing the ashes of Sir Ian Richardson, who died on the 9th of February 2007, was placed into the foundations of the auditorium during this renovation. So the theatre was transformed. It seems that many who have loved this theatre in their lifetimes cannot turn away from this magical and evocative place. Ghost stories emanate freely from the building, judging by the ease with which the theatre staff tell them. A grey lady is often seen. She appears so real she is often mistaken for a lost theatre-goer. She is thought by many to be the spirit of Elizabeth Scott, and she is one of the theatre's most well-known ghosts. Pippa, a former retail merchandiser at the theatre, said, "I was opening up in the Old Swan shop on a Sunday morning, which included unlocking the Swan Gallery doors and turning all the lights on. Whilst in the gallery, I looked at an old RSC costume, and I remember feeling cold, but nothing out of the ordinary. When I returned to my colleague, she said she was surprised to see a visitor viewing the gallery so early in the morning. I said it was only me up there. But she insisted she saw a lady standing behind me while I looked at the costume. The lady wore a long grey dress, and it was all captured on CCTV. However, I knew there was no one else in the room but me." Another regular encounter at the theatre continues to be the perfumed lady. She has been observed by front of house staff in the upper circle and is a frequent presence around the Swan Theatre, switching the bridge lights on again, no matter how many times they are switched off, and checked to be in perfect working order.